Hey, what's up, guys? Souter the Savage back. So, before the video starts, I just want to let you know that me and my boy Hayden, we started a brand new podcast called Copying and Souter Podcast. If you don't remember who Hayden is, you may have seen him in hockey and basketball stereotypes. Well, me and him decided to start a brand new podcast. We've been thinking about doing this for a while, but we finally started it up. It would mean so much to me if you would go check out our channel. I'll be leaving the link in the description below. We are uploading a brand new podcast every Monday. So be on the lookout for that. It's just going to be like weekly sports updates, mainly on basketball, hockey, football, and baseball. And we'll throw in a few other popular sports like the Masters is going on. We'll lightly mention that. And of course, F1 racing, because Hayden's super into F1 racing. But anyways, make sure you go check it out. It's Copying Souter Podcast. Definitely go take a look at it. Now on to the video.
So what is up, guys? Souter the Savage back, and today we're here with my Saints and Falcons recap. Today was a good day for the Saints as we pulled off a 24-9 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. So, as always, today the narrative was Taysom Hill becomes a starter. Would he lead this team to new heights, or would he ultimately hold them back? I'm going to get into that. As always, we start off with a general recap of the game. Then we go into individual player stats, overall grades for each team, and that's about it. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, so now starting out with a general recap of the game. So Falcons, they get the first ball, and immediately Matt Ryan goes for a deep 46-yard pass to Calvin Ridley. He caught it because he just absolutely burned Janoris Jenkins. It was a little bit of Ridley burning Jenkins, but it was also Jenkins being an idiot with trying to catch the ball. It's just so dumb. Already, I was already not happy because Janoris Jenkins just getting burned, so it wasn't good. So they get into red zone. And fortunately, we were able to limit them to a 28-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo, so I'm okay with it. Then, of course, on our very first drive, we go 3 and out, and that was just tough. But then the Falcons, they immediately follow that up with a 3 and out. So then I'm starting to get some optimism, and so the Saints, we get the ball, and we just completely start driving down the field. We got it. It's 1st and goal at the Atlanta 4. Alvin Kamara goes for a run. He did not get the touchdown. Taysom Hill tried to pass to Michael Thomas. It was incomplete. And then Taysom Hill once again tried another, I think he tried like an RPO, and it just failed. And then Will Lutz comes out, kicks the 22-yard field goal. Falcons, then they get the next ball, and they go on another long drive. But we keep them to a 4th and 7 at the 33-yard line, and Younghoe Koo nails the 51-yard field goal. So Saints, then we get the next ball. We slowly drive down the field. We get to a 4th and 13. Will Lutz kicks the 53-yard field goal, but it was no good. He doinked it right off the left upright, so I was not happy about that. It's pretty obvious. And then we exchange 3 and outs. Falcons go 3 and out, and then the Saints immediately go 3 and out. And then Atlanta on their next drive, it was just like another kind of like long drive, and Younghoe Koo nails the 52-yard field goal. So we're down 9-3. At this point, I'm pretty frustrated because, it's a common thing that our offense does not wake up until, end of first half. Because now, I understood why in this game, eventually later, because, I realized that because, Taysom Hill's starting at quarterback. We usually pull him in for a couple of snaps. It's not often that he throws, so obviously adjusting to his scheme would take some time. And it did, because on the very next drive, the Saints, we drive down the field, and Alvin Kamara just runs in for the 3-yard touchdown. So with about 1:46 left, the Falcons get the ball, and they try to get into field goal range. Now, unfortunately, on a 3rd and 2 on the New Orleans 39, Matt Ryan got sacked by Cam Jordan. And so with 3 seconds left, 4th and 10, Matt Ryan attempts to throw a Hail Mary, but Marcus Williams intercepts it. He runs it towards the New Orleans 20, and eventually one of the running backs for the Falcons ends up pulling a horse collar tackle on Marcus Williams. And that was going to be a 15-yard penalty that would be added so we could actually get one more play. So I would say maybe a 65-yard Hail Mary, I thought, isn't impossible. But Sean Payton decided to decline the penalty, and we go into halftime. So to start the second half, we get the ball, and we just go on a long drive. We get to a 4th and goal, at the Atlanta 2-yard line. I'm sitting on my couch, and I just say, go for it. And Taysom Hill runs right in for the 2-yard touchdown. So finally, the offense has woken up and the defense wakes up as we force another 3-and-out. But then the Saints, we go on a rather short drive. I don't know. We got to a 1st and 10 at the Atlanta 41, but we took a couple of bad sacks, and that ultimately affected us. And then we had to punt the ball, and fortunately the Falcons, they go 3-and-out. And then on the very next drive, Taysom Hill runs another flawless drive. 1st and goal at the Atlanta 10. He runs in for the 10-yard touchdown. So, I'm really excited with what he did, and I cannot wait to see what we got for the future. Because right now, this to me is a good warm-up for him. Because, the Falcons, they're not exactly the greatest defense. They don't have the greatest defense. They got a pretty good offense, not the greatest defense. So I'd say this is a nice warm-up for Taysom Hill. Because we got the Broncos next week. Their defense is okay, definitely better than what the Falcons have, but anyways. And then, of course, we force another 3-and-out, so I'm pretty happy. And then on the very next drive, Taysom Hill goes for a long 22-yard run and then fumbles the ball. And then, so Matt Ryan, he's trying to construct a drive, and on a 3rd and 3, throws a ball and gets intercepted by Janoris Jenkins. So I was really pissed at him at the beginning of the game. But now I'm happy because, later in the game he was playing much better, so, I didn't want to kill him anymore. And then, Saints, we try to run out the clock, but unfortunately we didn't. With about 1:09 left to go, 4th and 13, Thomas Morstead punts the ball. And then the Falcons, they try to go on a game. They try to maybe get it down to 1 score. They had no timeouts, so it was going to be pretty hard. So basically, 4th and 1 at the Atlanta 33, 7 seconds left. He finds his receiver Blake for a gain of 25, and Marcus Williams was just able to tackle him, and the game was over. Saints won it 24-9 on to individual players. All right, and now to individual player sets, starting out with the man himself, Taysom Hill. So today he was 18 for 23, threw for 233 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. So, that stat line for passing was actually pretty good in my opinion. We were unable to get a touchdown. We almost got one. He almost got one from a 58-yard bomb to Emmanuel Sanders, but unfortunately Eric McCoy took a holding penalty, so that robbed him of some additional yardage and a passing touchdown. And that was in the second half when we had our first punt. But it is what it is. But he did make up for it with a very good ground game as he ran for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the rushing game was amazing today. Latavius Murray, he had 12 carries for 49 yards, followed by Alvin Kamara with 13 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. And then Deontay Harris, he got 1 end around as he had 1 carry for 23 yards. So 168 rushing yards on the day. That gets that. I'm going to give the run game today a solid 9 out of 10. I would give it a little bit more, but the Taysom Hill fumble kind of holds me back. But you know what? I'm happy with it. And then on to receiving. So the narrative going into this game, at least for the receiving part, was Michael Thomas. He was having some trouble since he came back from his injury. Definitely was not the number 1 guy like he was last year. Well, thank God he proved that wrong. In my prediction video, in my Week 11 predictions video, I said Michael Thomas would absolutely break out against the Atlanta Falcons as he had 9 receptions for 104 yards. No touchdowns, but you know what? I'm glad he's back because you can't guard Mike and you can't see my giant muscles under these sweater. Just kidding. No, they're chopsticks underneath. But anyways, in terms of other receivers, Emmanuel Sanders, also he did well today. 4 receptions for 66 yards. And in terms of receiving, Michael Thomas was just the main target. So it's nice to see that we were going back to him. I think Traquan Smith was injured. Deontay Harris, he didn't really get much in the receiving game. He was also dealing with injury, so yeah. But anyways, Latavius Murray got a couple of checkdowns, but he turned that into 2 receptions for 36 yards. Followed by Adam Trotman with 1 reception for 19 yards. Jared Cook, he had 1 reception for 6 yards, and Deontay Harris, 1 reception for 2 yards. And surprisingly, Alvin Kamara did not have a single reception today, which is really odd, but of course with Drew Brees, he definitely relies a lot more on a short game, so that's kind of expected, but I expected Kamara to maybe to get not as many receptions as he would under Brees, but a little more than what he got. So overall, the passing game, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. You know, I definitely think it could have been better, but, you know, slow start kind of held that back, but it was good enough anyways. And then the defense, man, we made Matt Ryan's life a living hell. We sacked the man 8 times today. We had 1 sack from Demario Davis. You know, Cam Jordan, a lot of people are saying, well, is he bad? Like, is he what he was? Yes, he is. He had 3 sacks on Matt Ryan. He just makes Matt Ryan's life a living hell. David Onyementa, he had 2 sacks. And then Trey Hendrickson, quite possibly one of the more underrated defenders in the league, he had himself 2 sacks. So overall, a great game smothering Matt Ryan. But overall, the defense was very good today. Yes, we had a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but as always, we were able to make it up because, you know, like the first couple of drives, that's where the defense really struggles. But other than that, we usually just pick up right where we left off. It was amazing today. So the defense, I'm going to give them a solid 8.5 out of 10. And that's what I'm also going to give the offense. So Saints overall today, I'm going to give them a solid 8.5 out of 10. You know, a slow start definitely holds that back. But you know what? It was good enough. It was a great game that we played today. And then on to the Falcons. Matt Ryan, God damn it, he deserves hazard pay for today. He's taken 8 sacks. He threw for 232 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. So the 2 picks definitely hurt his reputation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of rushing, you got nothing going. Todd Gurley, 8 carries for 26 yards, followed by Hill with 18 yards, and then I. Smith with 5 yards, and then Powell had 3 yards. So a combined 52 rushing yards against the Saints pass rush. I was not expecting you guys to do well. But anyways, in terms of receiving, Julio Jones was dealing with an injury, so Calvin Ridley was able to break out as he had 5 receptions for 90 yards. Really, his big reception was the 46-yarder. 1 reception basically accumulated half his yards, so overall he was pretty good today. Robert Gage, he followed that up with 58 receiving yards. Julio Jones, even though he was limited today, he had 2 receptions for 39 yards. And yeah, that pretty much does it for the receiving game. So 232 yards. Overall, I'm going to give the rush game a 5 out of 10. Absolutely ineffective, nothing else. The pass game, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. You know, there were times when it was good. You know, the beginning, they got off to a great start, had a couple of decent patches with the passing game, but the 2 picks, that really hurts them. And then the defense, yeah, they did rack up 3 sacks, but other than that, nothing really that special in the defense. I mean, they did force a couple of 3-and-outs, so I was pretty impressed with that. So the defense, I'm going to give a solid, probably a 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give that to their defense. And also, I'm going to go back to Taysom Hill right now because one of the things that I wasn't thrilled with him about was some of the sacks that he took. So, of course, Breeze, he likes to get the ball out quick because he's old and definitely wants to avoid the injury. Taysom Hill was spending so much time in the pocket. So was Matt Ryan. So both these quarterbacks, the issue for them was that they were spending way too much time in the pocket. Fortunately, Taysom Hill was able to make his passes. Matt Ryan was not. So, like I said, I gave the Saints an 8.5 out of 10 today, and I'm going to give the Falcons a 6.5 out of 10. Actually, no, 6 out of 10. They get a 6 out of 10. Saints, I'm going to give them a 8.5 out of 10. So, great game that we had. We're going up against the Denver Broncos next week. You know, they had a rather good game. They beat the Dolphins, so definitely a team to be concerned about, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to pull out a nice victory. Onto the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other prediction videos and all my other recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. Make sure you go check out me and my boy Hayden's podcast at Souter Podcast. Link will be in the description below, as well as the link to our very first podcast. Our second podcast, I should be able to upload this on Sunday night. If not, I could get this out Monday morning. So be on the lookout for our very next podcast because I'm filming that on Monday. But anyways, make sure you drop a like on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you thought about today's Saints game. You know, were you thrilled about it? How would you rate our team? How would you rate the Falcons? All of that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Souter the Savage. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation? We 8-2, 7 in a row. And I am